As any European will tell you, French automaker Renault has held a dominant position in the European plug-in market for many years now, thanks to its range of all-electric models. From the tiny yet incredibly fun Twizy two-seat runabout to the Zoe hatchback and Kangoo ZE van, Renault's electric arm has enjoyed a 23% market share in the European electric car market. Earlier this year, it expanded its electric vehicle offerings even further, launching the Renault Master ZE commercial vehicle. Alongside its three other models, as well as the Fluence ZE, which, while no longer made in Europe, is sold under license as the Samsung SM3 in Korea, Renault is one of the few mainstream automakers out there which is already producing plug-in cars for everyday customers, not just talking about it. And at this week's Paris Auto Show, Renault unveiled a new car that it says will expand that further. The K-ZE. Due to launch in 2019, this A-segment vehicle will initially launch in China, but Renault says it will eventually go on sale worldwide. It lacks some of the flashiness of other electric cars being promised for production in a similar time frame, and has a range that's far less than many other cars you can buy today. Yet it still has a really important place in the world of electric cars, and I'm about to tell you why. But before I do, I'd just like to once again give a shout out to those of you who support this show on Patreon. We've just had our most successful quarter yet, and we're growing at a pretty amazing rate right now. And it's all down to our viewers and our patrons. Thank you. Back to the Renault K-ZE. Designed as an A-segment vehicle, that's a market segment that includes cars like the Fiat 500 and Opel Adam, the K-ZE is small and lightweight. It may look a little like a crossover, but Renault is calling it an SUV-inspired urban electric vehicle. The design may look like Renault's trying to make the K-ZE look like something it isn't, but there are practical merits to its styling. The long wheelbase compared to the vehicle body ensures there's as much space as possible underneath for batteries, and the higher driving position is better for visibility in a busy city. Renault hasn't announced the specifications of the K-ZE yet, but says it will achieve a range of 250 kilometers on the NEDC test cycle. If you know anything about test cycles or have watched this channel much, you'll know that the NEDC test cycle is super optimistic about range. You'll also know that it's just been replaced with a WLTP test cycle in Europe. Why did Renault use this range quote then? Probably to make this car sound a little better. 250 kilometers on the NEDC test cycle translates to around 170 kilometers, 105 miles in the real world. And that's, frankly, pretty naff, especially for a car that's launching in 2019. But here's the thing. That spec tells me the Renault K-ZE probably has a battery pack of around 30 kilowatt hours, something which will reduce the overall cost of the vehicle. In markets like China, where the K-ZE will launch next year, that's a really important factor that lower costs can make a massive impact on the car's affordability. It's also something that will come into play in other global markets where Renault either doesn't have an electric car for sale or the models that it does offer are deemed too expensive by many buyers. In an ideal world, of course, it'd be nice if we could all be driving around in cars with twice or maybe even 3 times the range for the same sticker price as the K-ZE, although pricing hasn't been announced yet, but Renault has said it will be super affordable and cheaper than the Zoe. But that reality right now can't happen. Even Tesla can't bring its entry-level Model 3 to market yet because it just can't make the numbers add up for profitability given the performance and the range figures it's shooting for. Nor can other automakers. They're faced with a tough question. Make electric cars expensive with longer ranges, or reduce the range per charge and make them super affordable, and then throw in rapid charging to extend the range when needed. Renault seems to be the first mainstream automaker to have chosen the second option here. The K-ZE will launch in China with both a standard normal slow charging connection as well as a Chinese GBT DC quick charging standard. In other markets, I'm guessing we'll see the GBT replaced by whatever happens to be the locally used DC quick charge standard. Renault says the K-ZE will have air conditioning as standard as well as electric windows all round, rear view camera and parking sensors. It will also have a large center console touchscreen display with connected apps and telematics, as well as automatic emergency braking and automatic headlights. But all of those other bells and whistles you see on higher-end electric cars, well, they'll be kept off this vehicle, at least in its prime markets, in order to keep the price low. Keeping the price low allows Renault to sell more, improves its chances of economies of scale, further reducing the price, and ensures the car's success. Sure, its range is on the low side, but as I've noted before, many times on this channel, there are plenty of first-generation electric cars being used daily with the same kind of range or even less as this vehicle, and their owners are driving electric and happy and reducing pollution. Eventually, the K-ZE will come to European and other global markets, and it may end up getting more premium features for those markets, but I, for one, hope that Renault keeps a version available for budget-minded buyers. If it does, this is the car that really could make more people dump the pump. And that's a very good thing indeed. That's it. Don't forget to give us your thumbs up or thumbs down, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. But before I rush off, I'd like to yet again thank those of you who support this show via Patreon. I really couldn't be making these videos on our tight new schedule or paying a part-time employee without your help. So thank you. We're always welcoming of new Patreon supporters at patreon.com/transportevolved. But now we've got an extra additional reason to join up. This month, we've just launched our Halloween special t-shirt. Anyone can buy one now by following the link to our shop below. But if you're a Patreon supporter who donates more than $5 a month, you'll get a store-wide discount for the month of October, including that limited edition shirt. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep evolving.